Free. Even better, free and fabulous. Now, there are two F words that teachers actually want to hear. We teach in fabulous times. We have so many free resources available to us that are high-quality resources for us to use. We have fabulous people, Molly Schroeder, Mark Garrison, who are fabulous at finding these resources and getting them into the hands of teachers. We have trainers like Katie, who can get teachers to use these resources. The problem isn't the amount of resources. The problem is finding the right resources to get us where we want to go. Now, my career path took a very interesting direction about 10 years ago. I got to be a resource specialist at one of the schools here in Burnsville. Now, I loved finding resources, and being a tech geek, most of my resources were internet-based. I loved getting them out there for teachers. I loved finding resources such as Scratch, Prezi, Design Squad, Screencast-O-Matic, Incredibots, EdHeads, virtual scuba diving, my son's favorite, Minecraft, Khan Academy, and yes, even Picasso Head. I had teachers who would find me and get these resources to me so I could share them as well, and I started sending out Website Wednesday emails. Well, we know emails get lost, emails get deleted. If you don't need that resource right then, it goes to the bottom of the pile. So I had teachers coming to me later and saying, Nancy, can we get a list of these resources? Well, at the same time, I had another job. I was the parent of two young children. Now, this gave me a fabulous lens. I knew as a parent that I wanted safe resources for my children, and I knew that I wanted it in a way that they could access easily. That as a parent, I didn't have to monitor every time that they were online. So, I came up with a solution. I developed Mrs. Meyer's Educational Links for Children. Now, I didn't know it at the time, but one of the greatest things about developing that resource was not only that I could go online and check out other internet resources at work and still call it work, but I also met people from around the state and around the country who were doing similar things. I was so fortunate to learn from those people. And I took things that I really liked that people were doing, and I was able to change things that I knew that I could make better. I'll give one example. There's a great resource called Cybraryman, but it is so deep, and there are so many things on there. And I don't know about you, but I'm too ADHD. By the time I would get to the link that I wanted, it was 4 or 5 clicks. So I knew to refine my resource. My career path has taken me in many amazing directions. I feel so fortunate. I've been a STEM coordinator. I'm now a media specialist. But one thing I've kept up is those internet resources, because I still see a need out there. Now, I've been lucky to work with teachers in a teaming environment, and I've seen some amazing things. Take the program Scratch. Now, if you're not familiar with Scratch, it's been around for a while, but it's a free resource through MIT. I read a book with kindergartners about a special tree. We then went into the computer lab, and they drew a tree on Scratch. Now, after that, my friend Katie, who drew a tree from that was right next to the playground where her apartment building was, that she would look at when she would go out and play. Then she added 2 birds and a squirrel to her tree. Now here's where Scratch takes that drawing program just a little further. She was able to, with a few drags of buttons, program one of those birds to fly away from her tree with the click of a button, fly back to the tree with another click. A kindergartner doing computer programming. A third grader, Sarah, with the same program, models the water cycle. With a click of the button, you can see the water go through the various stages of the water cycle. I had a gifted student that I was working with in 4th grade. His name was Josh. Josh developed a game with multiple characters and multiple levels. And getting to the next level was dependent on what you as the user did. He had so many pages of code. Think of the logic, the problem solving, and the editing that Josh had to do to make that game work. Then he got to put that game online, and real users from across the world could leave comments. Imagine a junior high student doing a simulation of Romeo and Juliet and getting the characters to actually say quotes from the play in their simulation. What a learning experience, summarizing, along with computer programming. Some other opportunities that I've had, I've seen a 6th grader, Samantha, use Prezi, a presentation system, to do a multimedia lesson on the Empire State Building. As you would click on different windows of the building, you would either see facts about the building, video of it being built, or pictures. I've seen Ibrahim, a student who was an English language learner. Ibrahim read a book. He was so proud. And he wrote a summary, and he wrote his opinion of that book. Well, then we told him we were going to videotape him reading his opinion and summary of it. Man, did he reread that book to make sure that summary was right? And did he ever practice to make sure his English sounded good? We videotaped him, and we linked it to our district-wide catalog system for that book, so any student interested in that book could see his review. He went on to do 3 more. He was so excited. Think of the teacher, Mrs. Carter. She's teaching about Newton in her class and the laws of physics. She finds a program on roller coaster design. If her students stay within certain g-forces, the comic book character riding on this roller coaster is fine. If they go too low, the character falls asleep. If they go too high, this character either throws up or passes out. Do you think you're going to get students engaged about Newton's laws with something like that? They love it. They play it in their free time. Mrs. Hansman, a 2nd grade teacher, doing a lesson about oceans with her 2nd graders, we went in and we were able to have a video conference with actual oceanographers on an ocean vessel with students sending questions to them real time via Twitter. You want to bring the real world to your students? There are so many resources to do it. I work between several schools right now. I can't be everywhere all the time, and I couldn't do it without technology. I use Screencast-O-Matic to make videos so that on demand teachers can see how to use our cataloging system anytime that they need to. I think of my friend Evelyn, who's raising her 2 daughters alone. She's a self-confessed mathophobe. She goes to do her algebra assignments with her daughters at night. She couldn't do it without Google and Khan Academy. Not only do the Khan Academy videos help her learn the algebra, but she can show it to her students to refresh what they learned in the classroom. Staff, students, and parents, we have so many ways that we can do this. But with 3 easy steps, every school can make this much more available to everyone in the school community. The first thing is, we have to dedicate staff at each site. We have to make a commitment to getting these resources to people, but we also need the staff to team teach with people, to develop these resources, and to make sure we are using only resources that fit in with what we really need as a school. In my experience, if it's too many clicks, if it's too hard to get to a site, people will give up. Everybody knows how to get to their school website. Most staff most students, and most parents. Why not have a direct link on your website, your homepage, to get to these internet resources? But finally, we need the training. Now, that training might be team teaching, that training might be video conferencing, that teaching might be classes that we offer. But we need to do training for the staff, for the students, and for parents. All of these things make these free resources not so free, but the money that we would invest in them would make them priceless to our students. Thank you.